What's up, YouTube? My name's Gridark, and today I'm going to talk about the YouTube age restrictions drama that's going on right now. Now, I don't want to get into anything that's already been covered by people like Philip DeFranco or Boogie2988 or various other YouTubers. What I want to talk about is how YouTube could go about getting back their advertisers, which I think is really important because if they're not turning a profit, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be paying YouTube content creators. So what's my proposal? First things that would have to change would be that Google would need to turn on age restrictions by default. But age restrictions would need to be fixed so that they weren't as messed up as they are now. Now, before that even happens, what they really need to do is get their Google accounts, which all of us have, to be more accountable. And why that's important, why we need to be tied to our Google accounts, is because once we're verified, whether we're viewers, content creators, it doesn't matter. Once we're accountable to those accounts, they can actually enforce certain content restrictions that will help everyone. Okay, so just say they did manage to make our accounts accountable to us, and we wouldn't be able to cheat the system. What would we do next? Well, YouTube would need to really knuckle down and create a content guideline for creators. So there would be no confusion over what fell into what category, and I think they need to be very, very broad sweeping with it, because something as simple as your PG 13 and up sort of rating doesn't really help. So yes, you'd start with 13 and up, but then you'd put in 15 and 18 as well. This would allow for more adult content to come onto YouTube because it would be restricted to that 18. Parents could decide what their kids are allowed to watch. So just say, for example, my brother, he's quite okay with swearing, but other things not so much. So he could enable his kids that are 12 and 14 to be able to view content, possibly all the way up to 15 years of age with swearing, but other content not. And this would all be toggleable within the option settings, and it would be enabled by default, which means that by default everyone under 13 years of age would not be able to see 13 plus content. All right. This should not even bother with LGBTQ. The only time that their content should be restricted is if they're talking about sexual things, or anything that falls under that mature content rating. So once that's done, and I know what a lot of people are thinking, they're using this algorithm to currently determine what's what, and it doesn't work, and it won't work. We've got real life people doing it in traditional media. We can use real life people to do it in this, and they don't need to go out and hire thousands of people to wade through all the content that currently exists. They already have the largest workforce probably known to man, and that is all of their content creators. So simply put, if you upload, you would select what your content falls under, whether it's good for everyone, whether it's 13, 15, 18, whatnot, and then you'd tick the boxes that state whether it's sexual content or swearing or whatever the options are. And this would all be set by YouTube. It would fall into their categories. Now, they have to be able to discipline anybody who wants to try and cheat the system. And there will be people out there that want to cheat the system or don't understand how the system works, and they need to be limited. But they need to be limited in a way that they, A, can appeal and get their upload rights back. And that's the other thing. Like, you wouldn't just delete somebody's channel if nothing up until a particular point has fallen out of place. Then you would let them keep having that. But if they kept on breaking the rules over and over again, you would just stop them from being able to upload and delete the ones that were wrong. So they could continue to earn money from their channel, but they'd just lose that right to create more content, I guess. And This would be really good for everyone. Parents would be more inclined to let kids watch YouTube without even needing that kid app. Um, YouTube wouldn't need to go through and manually do anything, and they wouldn't need some inaccurate algorithm to censor stuff. Uh, One of the things that I'd like to see though is don't make videos disappear, just make them unclickable. So you click on it, it says this content is rated to this age, because that way, if there is content that you want to see because you have searched it and you want to see it, well, maybe you can go to your parents and say, hey, can I watch this? Can you check it out and see if it's okay? I think that would be a much better option than you haven't created any content like Philip DeFranco's had the problem with. Now, the next thing is advertisers would be able to target the audience that they want to reach. So they want it under 13. They're happy to go up to 15 or 18 plus. It'd also allow YouTube to advertise to higher rated advertisements. So, for an example, Pornhub could have risky advertisements on 18 plus content. And I think that if YouTube could do all this and our accounts were accountable, it would only improve all the more so, because you think about the comment sections, which for the most part can be good, but Total Biscuit doesn't even bother using his because it's a mess and more people want to be rude than polite. So a simple solution would be to have it so that after a period of time, if it's proven that you keep on being insulting and you keep getting downvoted for being bad, they could get a few different YouTube creators who have proven themselves time and time again to be decent people to go in and have a look. So for example, just say Total Biscuit didn't like some comments from a particular user and he chose to flag them, and then someone like Boogie2988, Philip DeFranco, in their free time, whenever, they go in and have a look. While that particular user's been flagged by Total Biscuit, he can no longer comment on any of Total Biscuit's videos. And then when a few different other content creators who have a good reputation go and have a look into the comments that have been made by that person, if it's seen that that's all he does or that's all she does is harass people, then that just removes his or her ability to comment completely. So I think that YouTube could evolve into something far better than what it is now. And I mean, there's other changes I'd like to see come in. The comment section should be a multi-layered system where it's chat boxes, and when you click on them they open up and whatnot, and you've got multiples at the same time, so that it's easier to go through the popular ones instead of having to scroll down, and once more and more comments get made, they just drop by the wayside and you'll never see them again. There's certainly plenty of fixes that could be put in place, but in this particular case, I think that YouTube really needs to just focus on making that content restriction or age restriction system really work. And I think the first thing they need to do is get our Google accounts linked to us, and when we create new accounts, it doesn't allow us to unage restrict until we're verified. And whatever they need to do to verify it, I mean, let's face some serious facts here. I've got my full name, my address, my date of birth. They've got my credit card details because I buy things through Google Play, and they've also got my mobile phone number because I use two-step authentication. So really, what more do they want in order for me to prove who I am? If it's a driver's license, I'll take a picture with my phone and send it through, and they can verify it. Whether it's over here it's a tax file number. I think you guys call it a social security number in America, but I'd be happy to give that if it took YouTube to the next level. So that's my thoughts on that. I'd really like it if you subscribed, because I do want to make more content and it would make me feel like maybe I'm going in the right direction. If you disagree with me or agree with me, the like button, the dislike button, you know the drill, and leave comments if you think along these lines or maybe have better ideas than what I have. Thanks. Bye.